Hey guys, a little late as the rest of the stuff this week is, mostly because I'm knackered tired. But sorry, knackered tired, lots of stuff to deal with. Welcome to my review of issue 23 of Warhammer Conquest. We've got another scenery issue this time. Or terrain, whatever you want to call it, even more barrels, and loads of other stuff. So let's crack this baby open. Obviously plastic crack first. Wait. It's another. Actually, I'm going to show you the magazine first. I don't know if you can see it, but hold it that way maybe. No. There you go. If I shine it across. You can see that this one is slightly damaged, which, if we look at the back of the plastic, does make sense. You see we've got these bits here, which fit into these holes in the front to help you make your anti-tank traps. I'm pretty sure these things have got to be over a decade old by now. I'm not sure if I can see a copyright on it. 1997. So yeah, over 2 decades old. This scenery is 20-year-old design, but that being said, it's actually classic. You've got these tank traps, which are actually based on fairly standard World War II tank traps, which is why they look like just metal girders that have been welded together, because a lot of the cheaper stuff was. You've got the basic barrels, split down the middle, unlike the barrels we've seen previously where it's a split but the top is a solid piece, so it looks a little better. These ones are split straight down the middle, looking good, but no imperial embellishment. A bit more generalistic, which again is typical of the older designs. We've even got a petrol can, jug, whatever you want to call it, although I guess it would be Prometheum. We've got this kind of weird tube thing here, a box of ammunition here. This box has fallen out, obviously this slot, but you've got another box lid and some more ammunition there. And this metal, what looks like a pallet that you'd stack things on and a forklift would lift it up. So this stuff, it makes a bit more sense for kind of more old school games. You can see the influence here for more traditional World War II and war game scenery. Before, sorry, my dog's whining. Mostly because she's a bit silly. Come on, upstairs, upstairs. Oh, I'm going to pause it a second. I need to let my dog out. I am back, having lost a train of thought of what I was saying. Oh yeah, this stuff is, you can see, is much more influenced by old World War II terrain. You know, this would literally just sit on this edge on these two prongs, giving you a big set of spikes to stop infantry and hopefully slow down vehicles. These cross bits just sit in like a row, so that if a vehicle hits them, they just get in the way and slow it down. Much more basic barrels. And then this stuff is some of the more high-tech stuff, but you can still see it's heavily influenced. They're just ammo boxes, like you would expect to find. There's no Imperial Aquila or anything on them. These ones are designed to be scenery in there. These ones serve a dual purpose. They can be scenery, or if you've got ammo, you've got two ammo boxes and this weird little whatever this is here, which can be used as objective points. You know, you can use them as objective markers to show where your objectives are in the game. And cool stuff like that. I don't know the price of those, guys. I am sick as a dog. Sorry, mate. Sorry, guys. I believe the scenery kit is about a tenner, but I would have to check that up. I did look it up earlier, but I've forgotten. I am suffering from the lurgy. Okay, so well, let's go through the beautiful magazine. Lovely colour purple. Some beautiful, happy little little nurglings on the front there. Just some happy little nurglings. No mistakes, just happy little disease accidents. Which is quite nice because Papa Nurgling done blessed me. Obviously, the mighty Ian has ordained this book with his signature once again. We've got chapter organisation here. Space Marines. So starting with the Nurgle front, then diving straight into how Space Marine chapters work, how chapter forces work and battle companies work. If you do sit down and math this, which I've done previously, it doesn't go into all the detail actually. It takes a damn sight more than 1,000 Marines to make up a chapter once you start including all the bits and pieces. I always think that was meant to be 1,000 Battle Brothers, but it got changed. We've got some weird ass booby demons there from Slaanesh. Fiends of Slaanesh, only slightly weirder and freakier looking. That's a lovely fighting Space Marines and Demons of Khorne. I'm not sure who's fighting who there. There seems to be some sort of weird melee with Space Marines being covered in goop. If you take a close look, something weird's happened to that guy's eyes. No idea what. But again, these guys, I'm not sure if they're Primaris or Standard Marines. I suspect Standard Marines. They're just wearing a mark of armour I'm not familiar with. Still, they look awesomely cool. And doesn't the Brainhaven have a face? What's going on with that dude? There's some weird pictures here. Really nice art. Slightly weird though. Although that might just be because I am on a lot of cold meds. But yeah, next bit we've got Demons of Chaos, obviously. Another page on demons with the nice little four-cornered circle here. Explanation of the hierarchy of the Imperium, how it works, the Adeptus Custodes, the Inquisition, the Adeptus Administratum. If you're wondering why we've got these sort of odd quality drawings, which are a bit weird, these are really old school drawings from back in the day. There's something GW keeps because a lot of us really enjoy them and we really enjoy the continuity. But a lot of these weren't done by professional two-dimensional artists, but are actually done in many cases by the same guys that were painting the models and were sculpting the models because they were just solid artists doing everything. Some were done by professional two-dimensional artists. But then it goes through the Adeptus Terra, the Adeptus Ministorum, the Imperial Fleet and the Questor Imperialis. Which are all the basic, they're the basic bits of the Imperium. The Custodes are, I think we all know the guys that guard the Emperor. The Inquisition are the guys that basically fight the secret battles of the Imperium, whether it's against aliens, heretics or demons, or many other weird little things. It's worth noting the Inquisition is in a constant state of flux. There are dozens of sub-Inquisition factors that will sometimes literally be created to deal with a specific threat as it arises, and if that threat is then defeated or goes away, they'll be absorbed back into larger bits of the Inquisition, or they'll just wander around for years doing whatever they want because people have forgotten about them. That happens as well. The Adeptus Administratum is very much the bureaucracy. You can't run something as big as the Imperium without bureaucrats. Unfortunately, because it's so big and because it's run across an entire galaxy, it's kind of some worlds go forward, some worlds go backwards. On average, the Imperium goes nowhere. You've got the Adeptus Terra, which is the central bureaucratic organisation. The Adeptus Administratum. Yeah, the Adeptus Terra is another branch of bureaucratic organisation. They act between a link. They work for the High Lords of Terra and get their rules out and get their their rulings out. They will express their will. Whereas the Adeptus Administratum decide, takes ties, figures out how much farming each aggro world does and how much is coming, and whether they've got enough food coming from an aggro world in Segmentum Solar to feed an aggro world in in the Imperium Nihilus or something, to feed a hive world in the Imperium Nihilus, because food does need to be moved about. You're the Adeptus Ministorum, who are the religious side. They're the side that Guilliman kind of thinks shouldn't exist, but they're also exceptionally powerful and a really effective way of binding the will of the Imperial people to the Imperial needs. You've got the Imperial fleet, speaks for itself, it's a fleet, and Questor Imperialis, guided by a single noble pilot. An Imperial Knight is a giant armoured walker, so the Questor Imperialis are the might factions. Then we move on to another bit, Nurglings. It seems to be alternating Imperial Chaos, Imperial Chaos. A beautiful description of Nurglings, who are beautiful, cuddly, fun, disgusting, foul blobs of disease. Weirdly enough, Papa Nurgle is actually the most affectionate of the Chaos powers. He actually legitimately cares for his followers. It's just the way he expresses that is by making their heads drop off. More on Nurglings and how disgusting and wonderful they are. Then you've got Archeron of Flame, which, what's that? Oh, that's a nice little short story. That's really nice. Goes on for a page and a half. And got some beautiful pictures of some scouts there. Having looked at the scouts, without their armour, they kind of still fit in. They're one of the few models that I kind of think you can take from the old Space Marine Army and still fits into kind of the scale and ideology of the new Space Marine Army. Although I am planning to buy some of the new Age of Sigmar Orcs and use them as squats and use the Space Marine rules, because the old Space Marines are stunty. Why not use their rules for squats? Anyway, random aside, we've got the thing that explains the battlefield accessories. And here, it's so old, they've actually got this little thing saying, unlike your previous model kits, this sprue does not have numbers on, because it dates back to the time where they expected you to be able to figure that stuff out for yourself. The models were simple, they either went together or they didn't, and how they went together was really up to you. So they've really just gone, yeah, you put it together how you want, it's up to you. But they have given you basic instructions and numbered the parts, which is great because, sorry, they haven't. They've numbered the instructions there. You've got the option, this one's of leaving the lids up or leaving the lids down. If you're not planning to go anywhere with them, if your game board is at home or this stuff's going down a local gaming club and is going to stay there, then build them with the lids on, with the lids open, because that's fine. If you are planning to go anywhere, the lids will break off and snap off when they move. It's the same. It's the same decision you get with the big Imperial containers. You can leave one of the doors open, but it isn't as structurally strong as closing it all up. And again, as with the big Imperial containers, if you close them up, you do suffer from the fact you're losing details, which, it's your choice. You do it how you want. It then goes on how to paint them. It's suggesting you paint the drums and cans red, which is probably what I'm going to do. And then you prime these green and the thing silver, which again is probably what I'm going to do. Sorry for the twitching, guys. As I said, tired as fudge. And where I've got a cold on my chest, I can't use the usual means of trying to slow my twitches down. And then it goes on to adding quite a bit of detail, which at this point, with the paints and the brushes they're selecting using, is giving you this. Sorry, the brushes they've given you to use and the paints they've given you to use is actually giving you quite a nice little paint job there, which looks cool. Yep. We've got the next mission briefing, which is Unholy Ritual, which is quite cool. Again, using the boards and that, your deployment, your victory conditions there, which look cool. Well, there's a piece of scenery I haven't seen before. Nice little tentacle scenery there with hands on things, really cool. Then you got your second mission briefing, because obviously they always give 2. Enemy territory. And some more stuff here. We're not getting many new rules at this point. When we get new models, doubtless we'll get new rules. When those models have new weapons, doubtless we'll get new rules. Right here, they're getting into, frankly, the more fun stuff of it, which is the gaming and the fun and the enjoyment. This one, for example, is a slightly different to standard. You've got a Death Guard having their deployments on as half the board, and then the Marines just entering from that half. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's a defensive, offensive one, which is pretty neat. Again, our standard back page telling you where you can get more information. If you're new to this or you haven't looked at the Warhammer community page before, it is fantastic. If you're doing this from your home and you haven't had a chance to go down a Games Workshop or a friendly local gaming store, and frankly, I much prefer my friendly local gaming stores to my GW. That's not because they're bad. My GW is actually, my local GW is Portsmouth GW, which is actually very, very good. Run by a guy called Ian, really knows his stuff. Really friendly, really supportive of all his gamers. I just like friendly local gaming stores because they're more independent and they do a lot of other games. And it sounds ridiculous, but interest in other games really keeps GW on their toes. There was a period of time where GW basically dominated the gaming market and the quality of their games didn't stay at the high standard we know it today. The fun didn't stay at the high standard. Some of the models that came out during that time weren't as awesome as we'd hoped they were, and some of them did seem to be, you must buy the latest new thing to make your army competitive, otherwise you'll get slaughtered. Whereas, yeah, and during that period, a lot of other games came out, a lot of other stuff came out from many other sources, Privateer Press, Corvus Belli's Infinity, Weird Miniatures, Malifaux, and they really pushed, they grabbed chunks of the market and really pushed GW, and GW's response was to bring out awesome versions. Yeah, that 40k massively improved. Lots of stuff that people have been asking for, but GW didn't see the profit in making, came back because they needed to attract attention. Genestealer cults are a direct result of GW needing to retake their market share. You know, this is a result of GW needing to basically be proactive and provide good quality methods and good quality things and good value for money and ease of access to people. You know, you were ending up at points where you needed £200 input to get a decent 40k army, and fantasy it could be ending up to £400, whereas other games are saying here's £30 and you can get going. So, you know, whilst have always been and will probably always be a massive fan of GW, and I'm going to almost certainly always going to play their games. Your friendly local gaming store will give you a plethora of games, and even by taking an interest in them, it keeps GW on their toes because they want you to spend their money with them. So, yeah, go to your local GW store. They're almost always great guys. Go to your local friendly gaming store. They're almost always great guys. And look at the community page for Warhammer, because frankly, it's a fantastic page. It tells you a lot about what's going on, what's coming up, and allows you to plan. Now, for the back of the book. Page 25, obviously as last week we saw, we're getting the first part. And it looks like they're not making this, page 25, issue 24, we're getting the first part. And it looks like they're not making its way, because issue 25, we're getting the second part. Which is appreciated, because having half a Dreadnought for more than a month would be weird. You got half a Dreadnought, that waits 6 months to get the next half of the Dreadnought. That'd be strange. Whilst they've waited to give us replications, they're splitting up. But sorry, we're getting it within a week. 1 week you get the first part, 1 week you get the second part. I almost went to monthly things. I was thinking of White Dwarf, I think. I am sick as a fucking dog, guys. Oh dear. Dear me. So I'm really looking forward to that. The Primaris Dreadnought is bigger, nastier, and frankly more mobile looking. Even the easy to build one looks more mobile and quicker and more I want to say action-packed than the old Dreadnoughts did, even though they were great. I think it's my favourite Dreadnought. I know there are the Roxy, that's enough. I know there are the Forge World Dreadnoughts, which look much more humanoid, and they're great, but frankly, this guy is just a beast, and I really like it. I'm really looking forward to it, so I will see you next week for the unboxing, unbagging, the review of part 1 of the Dreadnought issue. Have a nice week, guys. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Not sure why, but I am. So if you like it, see me there, and please tell your friends. Thanks very much. Bye.